Hey guys, I'm so sorry about the absence. I've got quite the excuse, or excuses. It starts with me brushing my hair. For one, I'm going to do a hair brushing video today while I talk about a little bit about my life, and then as the title implies, a little bit about Game of Thrones. So what happened was right after about a week after I did my previous video, I started this video, and I did it about 3 times, and all of them the quality wasn't very good. You could hear my son laughing maniacally in the background, and yeah, all those things. And that was around Easter, about a week before Easter, and I went to my mom's to celebrate Easter and was there for a week. And when I got back, I was going to do another video, but Game of Thrones happened to me, and I had not been privy to Game of Thrones before this, and I watched the first couple episodes, and it kind of occupied the rest of my time. And then after Game of Thrones, my binaural microphone died. So that's why this is not in binaural, it's why it's in the stereo that's on the camera, which is not very good, unfortunately. So that's a big bummer. I contacted the people who sold it to me through Amazon. Their warranty only covers 30 days. They told me to contact the manufacturers. If that doesn't work out, I will be leaving a scathing review of them on Amazon, because I should not pay $80 for something that will last for 3 months. Less than 3 months almost. Yeah, less than 3 months. So there is that. So a couple of my videos are going to have to be in this audio format, and I'm sorry, because I do really prefer the binaural myself, and I'm not very good at making this sound binaural, so I will do what I can. I'm also, to top all of that off, looking for a job currently. I've had an interview, I'm about to have another. I didn't get that job, unfortunately. Well, fortunately too, it wasn't exactly the job I wanted. So we'll see about the next one. So, Game of Thrones. I'm going to sound like a huge nerd, and for those of you who have not watched up to season 3, episode 3, I highly suggest you don't watch this if you don't want things spoiled for you. When I first started watching Game of Thrones, I did not like it. It took about till episode 4 or 5 for me to feel invested, and probably until episode 10 of the first season, the last one, for me to really be hyped about it. The reason I wasn't big on it was because for me, what really drives my fondness for visual media, like, well, when I say visual media, I mean like movies, television, internet shows, that kind of thing, is if they are, fantasy or fiction, it's really important for me to either identify with or be able to see the complexity of a character. You know, I like my stereotypes, some of them as much as the next person, but I'm particularly fond of complex characters and character development. I love to see characters change and grow and evolve as the plot drives on. So the reason I didn't like it at first is so many of the characters were kind of dislikable. I mean, even the characters that I think you're supposed to like were hard for me to like. For instance, Kat Stark. I couldn't like her at first because, and as I mentioned, spoilers, she hated Jon Snow. And I know that did actually make her a little more complex, but she just was so rude to him when he left. I couldn't like her, which is strange because I don't really like Jon Snow that much either. But later on, when you see her lamenting the way that she treated Snow, I grew to like her character a lot more because of her internal conflict. And actually, it's a really good scene where she talks about how she promised she'd be a good mother to him if only he could survive the pox that he got. And then she couldn't follow through with it, and she felt terrible. And I thought that was, even though I didn't like it about her, I liked the complexity. I know I keep saying that word, complex. So, I think I like her character a little better now. It's the same thing with, what's her name? Cersei, the queen. I did not like her because she's felt like a one-dimensional villain, you know, kind of, how can I describe it? Because she wasn't a typical villain, but she was one-dimensional. It felt like her driving force was just evil at first, and then as, you know, the episodes go on, you see her internal conflict with wanting what's the very best for her children and realizing that Joffrey is a monster, and that, you know, how hard it is for her to continue to do what she feels is in his best interest, even though she knows it's going to be terrible for other people. And that didn't make me like her. I still hate her, but I like hating her. But yeah, as I said, at first the characters seemed to me. I always liked Ned Stark, and I always called him Boromir, because I can't help it. He's Boromir forever in my brain. I liked him a lot, and I liked that what was the driving force of his personality ended up being the end of him. You know, that, you know, if you were to describe Ned Stark in one word, it would be loyal, and his loyalty killed him, as Arya puts later on quite eloquently. And what I liked especially about him is he didn't develop at all. I mean, he did, but it was too late. He always does the right thing, what he thinks is right, what he thinks is, you know, loyal, until the very last moment where he tries to make the decision that's smart and ends up dying anyway. And I find that to be a very, this is going to sound so snotty, but a very beautiful moment in a sad way. rest of the world. I love Tyrion, and I like understanding his backstory a little, and although I don't think he's currently a really complex character, I can see him becoming a really complex character. Because it's obvious that you're supposed to love him, and his current faults are drinking too much and loving horrors, which isn't really going to turn a viewer against him. But of course I can't help but really like him and his character. And of course I like Arya, but also she's kind of a stereotype, the tomboyish stereotype. But it's kind of a stereotype I enjoy, though I haven't been offended by it. And although I don't feel like Bran has a lot to him, I like him. So far he doesn't really have so much a personality as he does, as he seems like he's just gonna be a MacGuffin in the future. It's like all you see is his dream over and over and over again, and him waking up and talking about it. And that's kind of all you see of his personality, at least when he's older. When he was younger, he was, you know, before he got pushed out the window, you could tell he was adventurous, but I still like him. And I really hated Sansa at first, but I've kind of grown fond of her, even though I just feel like she's doing what she has to live, to survive. It's still annoying, but and of all weirdness, through one of the characters I didn't expect to really like, but ended up kind of fond of, was, and I can't remember his name for the life of me. He's the Lannister father, the father of Tyrion and Cersei and Jaime. I don't know why, but his interactions with Arya made me really kind of fond of him. I don't like the way he treats Tyrion. It's pretty despicable, but for some reason there's still something about him that I like. I think it might be that the first time you see him, you know, he's cutting up a dead animal, but just, you know, a man's man, the kind of man that does things himself even though he's really rich. I don't know. I also really like, and I can't remember his name for the life of me either, Daenerys' companion, the guy that's been following her around. I can't even remember his name, but I really like him. I also like Daenerys fairly well, but she's kind of fluctuated in my she's annoying, she's cool scale. At first, I found her pitiful, and I couldn't, you know, the scenes with her and her brother were hard to watch, just because she was such a doormat. But then I like how she grows into a stronger person, and I liked her really well until the end of the second season, where she loses her dragons, and she kind of turns into Michael from Lost. Michael, spent the majority of the series running through the forest going, "Walt, Walt," you know, screaming for his son, and it felt like she turned into him just going, "Where are my dragons? Where are my dragons?" for like 3 or 4 episodes. It was really annoying. She just kind of like started having tantrums. But I still like her. She's okay. Well, and that's the thing, is I grew to appreciate the characters, most of the characters in their own right. I don't necessarily like them, but I appreciate their existence in the story and feel that they're, a necessary and good part of the story. And that is pretty much the hallmark of a good show to me, is having all the characters be useful in some way. And not necessarily useful, but have a reason to be there. And most of them have had some amount of development. I really like, I guess I didn't go over the 2 last Stark children. There's Recon, who just is like a wild child right now. But then there's Robb, and I do like Robb, but right now he is an incredibly one-dimensional character. He's about the absolute most one-dimensional character on the show. I like him, but, he's a good guy. He doesn't do anything wrong. Everything's going his way, except for marrying that one chick. But still, I haven't seen a lot of depth to his character. But he's really handsome, so I'll let it slide. No, don't even ask me about Mick Jagger Greyjoy. Looks like a young Mick Jagger. I hate him. I haven't decided if I hate his existence or I just hate his character. I haven't decided if he's necessary to the story yet, but I do really hate him, and I know I'm probably supposed to. He's an astounding mix of cowardly, grotesque, arrogant stupidity. Endless things to say about Game of Thrones, and I'm excited about the next episode. And feel free to leave any comments about it if you want to discuss it. It's one of the few shows I'm into right now. I watch Doctor Who, and I also watch Mad Men. But those are the only shows I've seen, that I watch religiously. I've seen other shows, but I haven't seen all of other shows. For a little bit of, sorry, all my hairs are in there. I have a lot of hair, so I lose a lot of hair. his name, but he referred to himself in the third person as a man, and he was a faceless one, or something. I really liked him. I hope he comes back. He is super cool. And I'm sure, as with most other people I've talked to, that you can assume, and you would assume correctly, that I hate Joffrey. Sometimes I think they even go a little overboard with him. I'd like to see a side to him that's not just the cowardly, bloodthirsty brat. It would be nice to see him care about someone other than himself. That would be nice. I get the feeling he might start to care about Marjorie. The way she's playing him. I kind of like Marjorie. I'm still on the fence though, until I know her motive. Scratching my zipper with the brush, by the way. I really miss my binaural mic. Camera's having a little trouble focusing lately. It must miss the binaural mic too. job, it is still my intention to make videos. I love doing it. It's cathartic for me. It's one of the few things that I've stuck to for more than a month in my life. So I would also like to start highlighting a video that I watched a lot or that I particularly like at the end of my videos each week. I won't do it this week, but if I did, it would probably be Heather Feather's new robot one. The layering in it is so good. You should definitely go watch it. But yeah, so plans for the future, for the days to come. Hopefully I'm going to be doing one video a week, highlighting another person's video, and we'll see how that goes when I have a job. Anyway, I really appreciate those of you who've watched my videos and stuck with me. I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, which is huge. I never expected to get so many. And hopefully, if I do get a job, I can afford a new microphone. I might not get a binaural this time. I might get a Yeti or a stereo one, because the binaural microphone that I purchased seemed really flimsy when I got it, and I wasn't very happy with it. And now that it's broken, I'm absolutely sure I wasn't happy with it. So I'll either get a better quality binaural microphone or like a Yeti or something. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching and bearing with me, and hopefully I'll see you next week.